We're gonna start our healthy, gluten-free, high fiber, salted caramel brownies by mixing all of our dry ingredients in a bowl. 3/4 cup of granular sugar swap, 3/4 cup of cocoa powder or raw cacao powder, 3/4 cup of flour swap. Now I'm using grain-free flour swap in this demonstration. I've also got 1/2 teaspoon of fine sea salt. We'll mix this until all the lumps are out and everything's well incorporated. Now we'll start our wet ingredients. We've got 2 egg swaps. Remember to reconstitute your egg swap with very hot water. There's 2/3 cup of well-stirred room temperature butter swap. Remember, you can always throw your entire jar of butter swap into a high-speed blender if you have trouble stirring it until smooth. 1 teaspoon pure vanilla extract. Now we'll mix our wet and dry ingredients until we have a nice smooth batter. Now this is the grain-free flour swap, so you're going to get a thicker, a little more crumbly brownie batter. That is normal. It's still going to bake up great. We've got our wet and dry ingredients mixed. Now we're going to let our batter rest for about 5 minutes. That 5-minute rest is going to allow all the fiber contained in the flour swap to absorb the excess moisture. And in this 5-minute rest, you will noticeably see the batter start to thicken. That's normal. We've got our whole grain variation of our brownie batter here. You can see the batter isn't quite as thick as the grain-free, but still handles like brownie batter, which is normally very thick. I've got my 9x9 pan, my parchment paper. If you only have an 8x8 pan, that's totally fine. It'll still work great. And I'm just gonna load my brownie batter into my pan. Now we'll spread our batter nice and evenly into our pan. This doesn't have to be perfect because remember, we're gonna make our caramel topping and we're gonna press the caramel into our batter. Our grain-free batter has rested. I just gave it another quick mix, and now we're gonna load this into our parchment lined baking tray. This batter is a little thicker, and we'll just go ahead and press it right on in fairly evenly into our pan. Okay, we've got a grain-free batter nice and evenly spread out, and it's time to make our salted caramel. I'm going to start my caramel by adding 1 cup of granular sugar swap to a small saucepan, 1/2 cup of well-stirred room temperature butter swap. There's 1/4 cup of unsweetened plant milk, 1/2 teaspoon sea salt, a tablespoon of pure vanilla extract. Now I'm going to stir this on about medium heat, bring it to a boil, turn it down, simmer it for about 5 minutes. You can see we've got a nice boil here. I'm stirring quite often. I've got my timer set for about 5 minutes, and then we'll go ahead and pour it on top of our brownie batter. I'm going to turn mine down just a little bit. I had it up about 7 to get it going. Now I'm going to turn it to about 3. And you'll see when the caramel's done, it's noticeably going to get darker and thicker. Okay, our caramel looks done. You can see how much thicker and darker it is, and it's ready to pour on top of our brownies. Okay, we're gonna pour a nice thick caramel right on top. Spread a nice smooth layer. And then we're gonna use the edge of the spoon to just drag it through the brownie batter. This is my grain-free, so it is thicker. Now I'm going to go back in and just make sure it's all laying nice and flat, smooth. So I've got that caramel really infused within all the nooks and crannies of the brownies. I absolutely loved chopped pecans with caramel and chocolate. So I'm going to cover mine with some chopped pecans. Okay, I've got my oven heated up to 325 degrees. I'm pressing in my pecans so they bake right into the top of the brownies. And I'm going to put these in the oven for about 25 to 30 minutes until done. My brownies baked for about 28 minutes. My grain-free and whole grain baked the same amount of time. The whole grain brownies are going to have a few extra slowly digesting healthy carbs. Both will be vegan, gluten-free, high fiber, vegan, non-GMO, sugar-free. These brownies freeze so well. You can wrap them tightly and store them in the freezer. Just take them out as you have a chocolate craving. They hold up really well in the fridge for quite a few days. So either works great.